11 seasons, 177 episodes, and it all leads to this. What the fuck? So I watched Rest in Peace. Finally did it. Finally watched the
hyped up.
No, the least thought out title for a finale about dead people of all time.
Well, it's like 11 seasons.
They were like, well. The show's about dead people, and when people die, it's a common courtesy to say rest in peace. So it'll almost be like a thought-provoking way to say, hey, the show's ending, but like, hey, rest in peace.
That's pretty clever, actually. I didn't understand how clever it was that you explained it just now.
It was almost as clever as when episode 21 was called Outpost 22, and I was like, huh. How about you call it Outpost 21, you call it like Outpost 67, so no one thinks anything of it.
Yeah.
Don't call it 22 and episode 21 and just make it really confusing for everyone.
Because 22 might as well just been Outpost 22. What's 22? Outpost 23?
No, Outpost 2 is just called, like, they're here.
That's a good title.
You know, 6 Feet Under is a show about death, and they had, I guess they decided to call there something dumb like Everybody's Waiting.
Oh, really?
So that, you know, The Walking Dead could have some cool title like Rest in Peace to use when they end. Because originally, you know, 6 Feet Under was like, hey, Rest in Peace would be a great ending for the show. But then, you know what? No, there's going to be a better show down the line that needs to have that title. So we're going to go Everybody's Waiting instead. But no, I put it on. And my expectations were low in the sense that I knew it was going to be shit, but they were high because I was like, dude, it's the finale. Of course they're going to step up their game a little bit. They were saving it all. The reason why this whole season was so like hit or miss because they were saving it all for now.
Everything led to this.
So it opens up. Judith is just shot on the table, right?
What?
Judith got shot in the last episode. I can't remember by who. Someone shot her at some point, and then Daryl scooped her and was like, I got to get her out of here! And he just ran, and he held her, and she kept waking up every 5 seconds being like, Rick? And he'd be like, no! Little ass kicker, no! And he'd run back into the hospital with her.
You're really yelling a little ass kicker?
Yeah.
Or is that just you being funny?
He kept calling her a little ass kicker. And then she called him big ass kicker. And I was like, when the hell is that a thing that happened?
That's so dumb.
He's like,
and
get better, little ass kicker.
Rick.
And he's like...
She wouldn't just say dad if it was Rick. She's going to say Rick.
Oh, no, because she has to constantly specify which mom she's talking about, if she means Lori or Michonne.
That's so dumb.
Because for some reason, these kids have the most complicated lineage. The Grimes family, each child has 2 moms and 2 dads. It's wild, all right?
It is crazy.
Judith's like, do I mean Daddy Shane or Daddy Rick? Do I mean Mama Lori or Mama Michonne?
But why would she ever be referring to Mama Lori when she didn't know Lori?
It doesn't fucking matter.
So there's no reason for the confusion. Man. Her mother, for all intents and purposes, is Michonne.
So, she's all like, oh, I'm gonna. Oh, what happens is that. So last episode ends with him getting her to the hospital. Like, she's bleeding, right?
Yep.
He gets her over there. And this episode starts off with Daryl's just unconscious on the floor
because he also got shot.
I don't know.
I
guess he got really overwhelmed by the situation.
He always reacts to stress that way. He always passes out.
So he's like passed out on the floor, and the 9-year-old girl who got shot in like the shoulder, like, an inch from her heart, is like, "There's zombies coming here. I gotta save the day." So she goes ahead and somehow she summons the strength to get out of her bed. She was just unconscious a second ago. Yeah. She gets, because the whole entire episode, if you couldn't tell, since you didn't watch it and it did watch it and just listening, is they're trying to see like. It's Scott and Gimple just viciously jacking himself off. Like, how many references to the first episode can I get in here? How many fucking pilot references can I get in here, huh? How fucking many? And he's going bananas. Every 5 seconds, he's like, okay, I get it. That happened in the pilot. I get it. That happened in the pilot. I get it. That happened in the pilot.
That's so disappointing. So
she gets out of the bed, okay? And not to mention, when she was getting rushed into the bed, they did the same thing where it opened up on the POV of her looking up, and you had... Daryl running the medical bed in there.
Really?
Where we're doing like the hazy closing the eyes thing of the PV. So they did the whole Shane thing where Shane's like, oh, wake up, brother.
Was it cool or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was Scott Gimple jerking himself off the entire time. Like, I want to fucking do it!
Dude, how crazy would it be if then Judith woke up and she shot an old man zombie, and that's how they
exactly, and they reversed it. That would have been pretty sick. I guess he came. And he would be in his robe before he got to that point. He's like, "Ah, shit! Yeah, I got all my creative juices are literally all over my table."
He's just on the ground, barely breathing.
He's a tiny load. Who would be kidding? Just fucking burps out spunk. So then she like moves her bed over to the table to the glass door, and then it's suddenly she's able to fix it. And she also passes out. She passes out, and they decide to do like yin yang, and they have it where it does an aerial shot of them both, like Daryl and her passed out like opposite each other. I'm like, what are you even trying to? What are you saying to me?
They're opposites.
What? No. And not to mention, this is a side note though. Is it's like, why the hell is Judith being handed over to Daryl to watch over her, where she's like, Dad? It's literally, of all people in all the world, Carol had a daughter. Maybe she wants a new one. I know she was 0 for 2 on the whole raising kids thing because Henry got his head cut off.
3 for 3.
I don't know what's
she's
worse.
4 for 4.
Your daughter,
had Mika and her sister. She just shot in the fucking
That's
head.
true. That's true.
So she's actually
a horrible
4 for
mother.
4.
Maybe she shouldn't have Judith, okay? But then you think about Aaron, okay? Aaron has his daughter Gracie, who the show keeps telling me all season long, that's Judith's best friend. Okay? Gracie and Judith are thick as thieves.
Do they do the One Tree Hill approach high best friend every time?
They may as well.
Okay.
They may as well. Whenever they see each other, it's the most overjoyed. Gracie! Judith! And they get so excited to see one another. So I guess they're best friends, like really close friends. But at that point, it's like, well, then have Aaron raise her. You know? She can have a sister. Instead of her, you know, stupid brother who's we'll get into it. It's just the world, this kid, I don't care, he's a kid. You know, some got, some don't, and he doesn't have it, all right? His ability to convey anything is lost. I mean, anything. Dialogue, facial expressions, general human movement, breathing normally. Just anything that could possibly require, wow, that looks out of place. He's like, I can do that, though. This little kid's the worst, okay? Also, it was a cold open. It was like the whole Daryl thing that cuts to the theme song.
Nice.
And the theme song, for whatever reason, they added everyone to the theme song.
Sick.
So, like, remember I was commenting, like, saying, how is it where the entire group is? Remember that group of people that, when they did the time jump that little Judith found? Or should I say, ass kicker? Little ass kicker found, right?
Yeah, not really.
She the time that's when we discovered Dan Fogel and all that group. They were all she saved them. And like, you're a 9-year-old. She's like, I'm Judith Grimes. And then the end of the season.
To us?
No. So somehow, in case you're curious, will any of those 5 characters die? No.
Oh, sick.
They're somehow all in the finale. Okay, you thought like really all? Yeah, they're all here still. Okay. And they're all in the. My point is now they're all suddenly in the cast for the whole entire 11th season with the theme video play, and then it would say also starring and name those knuckleheads. And all of a sudden for the finale, I'm like, wait, why is there 4 names on every title card? And they just had everyone's name written on there. Every single person in the show, like, yep, you're a cast member, except for the fucking Eugene's hot girlfriend. She was still also starring.
Oh, really?
I thought that was fucked up.
Was her brother still also starring? I think
he was in the theme song to begin with.
Oh, really?
He's on all the marketing is just Negan, Maggie, Carol, Daryl, and Mercer.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
The entire season 11 marketing was him. So then Luke, who, by the way, who the hell is Luke? Yeah, it's Dan Fogler, who hasn't been in the show since season 10, the middle of it.
Okay.
So he was gone all of season 10. And once again, you know, shocker, they have to kill someone. So, like, you know what, we'll bring that guy back to kill him so people pretend like it feels like something.
Oh, really? They did that old wheelbarrow trick?
So he gets bit, and it's like, I guess that's important. He hasn't been here for 2 years. And then his girlfriend gets bit, who we haven't seen in like 3. She was in like the first episode they were in. We're supposed to care about her too. And he's all like, no! No! As he's seeing her get bit before he gets bit. She gets bit first, then he gets bit as like the reaction to seeing her get bit. And it's literally, but it's just like, put some relish on your hot dog. Like it's just not working. So then we come back from commercial break, and
Is this
now
all the last episode still?
Yeah. We
I
come
thought
back.
you were giving me like rundowns of this fucking season.
I'm starting off in the whole entire episode.
Gotcha.
Then we come back. Judith and Daryl survive being unconscious with the zombies around them, and Daryl's just so cool and awesome. And he's watching over Judith like, and she's
Daryl
lost
is
so
so
much.
cool and
Liz's like,
awesome.
we need to fight. And then Daryl, like I already said earlier, Daryl somehow becomes the father. You know, it's not. It's somehow no one else was in charge of her. They're like, well. You know how, also, I feel bad for the kid. She can't keep a parent around, okay? Shane knocks up her mom, gets killed.
Yeah.
Her mom gives birth, gets killed. Her
really
dad
doing well.
her replacement father abandons her. Her replacement mother abandons her in the search for her abandoned father. Now she got Daryl who's going to abandon her, and it's not even a spoiler because if you saw the trailers for the last couple months before the show even ended, like, he's going to France.
Yeah, he's on holiday.
He's on holiday. It's a very European way of saying it.
Thank you.
So then we cut back. Luke dies 5 seconds later. Exactly. Dan Fogel, the character you're supposed to care about. And they have this fucking scene where his group, I swear to God, okay? It's the characters you don't care about. Yomiko, Magna, Connie, whatever Connie's sister's name is, okay? It's those 4 knuckleheads, and they're around this tubby guy in the bed, and they're Italian women throwing themselves onto the fucking casket breathing. They're going apeshit bananas. They're fucking losing it.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like,
we haven't seen him in a season and a half.
I don't fucking care about this guy no matter how much you try to make me. And then the worst part too is then it cuts to the opposite, like the establishing shots of everyone else. Which, by the way, this entire episode
after they were all throwing themselves on top of Dan
during
Fogel.
we haven't moved on yet.
No, so did it cut to show someone in a boat in the ocean, and it was actually Nate from 6 Feet Under watching them grieve over him?
No. They should have. Instead, that would have felt more connected. They're in an enclosed room in a house in a landlocked state, nowhere near the water. It would have made more sense for it to cut to Nate from 6 Feet Under watching them. Instead, it cuts to lifeless shots of the rest of the cast who isn't the main group, who I can only assume filmed on a different day entirely and have no idea what they're supposed to be reacting to. Because as you see these gang of misfits screaming that Luke, who's been gone for 2 years, is now dead. My boy is dead. They're losing their minds. Daryl's just staring blankly. Rosita's staring blankly. Carol's staring blankly. The entire episode, by the way,
deadpan into the camera.
Not deadpan in the camera. They're like looking over, like, what's going on over there?
Oh, really?
Everyone's just crying there. It's so disconnected. It's jarring. Okay, the entire episode is just literally close up. How many close up and reaction shots can we get into the finale? What if we just have everything happen here, and instead of having anyone be a part of it so it feels organic, we'll film everyone on a different day of the week, and we'll have a Daryl shot there, and then we'll have a Carol shot here, and we'll have a Maggie shot over there, okay? So now he's dead, and everyone's in hysterics, and then we immediately move on past that because no one cares anymore, okay? They also handed him a harmonica at one point, which apparently one of them, I don't know whose hand it was, but one of the people's hand was apparently carrying on to the harmonica, which I think I vaguely remember him giving them before he left.
Yeah, it kind of sounds familiar.
So apparently they had this whole time, and then they like held up to him, and he was just like, and this creepy little smile, and then they tried having him do like some fucking, like, they tried having him do the Rick thing where he's like, I gotta find him. He was like, I got, and then he just died, and I was like, okay.
Nice. So
then Daryl's giving blood to Judith, even though he was also weak a second ago, and Carol's setting up, and it's so effortless, and it's like, there's no way blood transfusions can possibly be this simple, especially in the apocalypse, especially from, again, two morons from Georgia who are just figuring it out as they go along.
Yep, that's a really good point.
I'm thinking just how funny it would have been, though, because this is, again, improbable. And let's just say somehow they get the blood transfusion, where how funny it would be if it turns out Carol's a moron and Carol ends up just draining the blood of the dying little girl into the man. And now it just like we get the rest of the episode where Daryl gets a stamina boost because he fed on, children's blood, which we all hear about from the rich people is just the life essence.
Yeah, basically.
So then Daryl goes like Super Saiyan mode and kills everyone. Doesn't happen. Unfortunately, it goes the more predictable way in which the blood transfusion works perfectly fine. Judith has completely regained her consciousness.
I like your idea way better.
And the best part about it is they have Daryl, because Daryl, again, in case you know about Daryl, he's supposed to be the leading character, but they never give you a chance to figure he's a fucking moron, okay? And the way they make sure to drive that point home is they're like, someone must have been standing there next to Scott and Gimple being like, hey, don't you think, like, blood we don't want to send the wrong message. We gotta make sure that blood you can't just, like, give blood to people. Like, it has to be, like, a match. And then she's like, you should maybe have Daryl say something like, I'm a universal donor. But instead of saying that because he's a fucking moron, he's like, my blood works on everyone. And that's the line. And I was like, what? He said, what?
My blood works on everyone.
My blood works on everyone. I got superhuman blood. Instead of saying, like, he can't say I'm a universal donor. He's like, my blood works on all folk.
I be positive and sticking with that needle.
What?
It's Bruce Almighty.
Very good.
I be positive and sticking with no needle. I think that's what he says.
So he's a fucking moron is the takeaway for that one. And again,
my blood works on everyone.
My blood works on everyone.
It works. I promise you it works.
My blood is good for all people. Okay. Then I paused it because I had to take a second to just catch my breath from the
How far
dying
into this are we?
7 minutes.
No way.
9 minutes.
That's
13
insane.
minutes. We're under 15.
That's
I
fucking
paused
insane.
them like, oh wait, this isn't even an hour and a half long finale or a 2 hour.
Wait, what?
It's not a 2 hour. It's an hour and 4 minutes.
Wow.
So their big finale for this big buildup was
It all led to
9
this, a
extra
regular
minutes.
length episode.
Enjoy. Also, curiosity, after I'll skip ahead a little bit of my review, another 20 minutes in, I was like, there's been a lot of commercial breaks. We've cut to black a lot of times to the point where I think, did they just extend the runtime just like, okay, we're going to do like a 2 hour episode. We're only going to do like an hour and 5 minutes. We're going to have a whole 55 of fucking commercials. 12 kids later, we still got the heat.
Nice.
So then it cuts to the next scene arbitrarily, and Mercer, the new star of the show, he got arrested in the end of the last episode because 2 episodes ago, Eugene was on trial, okay, because we're in The Walking Dead, and Eugene's being tried as a murderer.
Does Harvey and Mike burst through the doors? with a bigger file than the
No,
other
it's
guys?
Yomiko. She's Harvey and Mike. Okay, and she
sick.
gives him her defense is like, is it really all that bad? And everyone's like,
That's true.
everyone's like, nope, guilty. And then it's like, you were a fucking lawyer before this? Really, Esquire?
Dude, I was listening to investigations at work, and the lawyer was talking. It's like, dude, that's your defense?
I know, it's so pathetic.
How are you a lawyer?
So then Eugene gets prosecuted, gets taken off to jail, and Mercer's like, we're gonna fuck shit up. And he breaks him out.
I saw that
next
scene,
episode.
actually.
Next episode, Mercer, he gets arrested. He goes to jail. So this episode, what happens?
So he didn't fuck any shit up.
No.
His shit stayed completely intact.
And also, you think too, when he was getting arrested too, I was like, damn, they're gonna have him like go on a hail gunfire, have some big fight, some like tank fight. When you once that last guy went in the movie, he goes berserk and he's just stronger and just driven. No, he's like, I'll go peacefully, and he just goes to jail.
Oh, I don't like that.
And then I think, all right, well, we're gonna have him break out of jail like a cool tough guy. You know what happens instead? Princess comes in. You hear from outside the cell saying, "Yo, babe."
Who's Princess?
His girlfriend.
Who's
Pink jacket. Hot Spanish girl.
chick's still a character?
Main character.
Oh my god! I thought she was in that 3 or 4 episode
No,
arc
she's in
when they
like
got straight
35
into the city.
episodes.
That's insane.
Princess is like, yo, babe, back up. And then he runs.
babe, back
I'm not
up.
kidding. And he runs into the corner, the opposite corner away from the door, and he cowers like a kid during a bomb drill in elementary school,
Same
okay?
Silverman style, they just break through the walls.
She blows up the fucking door somehow and just goes shooting across the room. And she walks in, she's like, yo, what's up? And she gives him a kiss, hello. And they're like, all right, I guess that's, again, on to the next scene. So
Nice.
we're just playing catch up. Like, how can we finish this up real quickly, okay?
If only I had the capacity, maybe do a 2-hour finale like most shows would have
She's
done.
like, back up, baby, I got a bomb. And she blows up the door. Then Maggie's in the last episode, and she saw, in the last episode before this one, she saw Negan apologize for
Now
something.
post 22.
No, in 23.
Oh.
She saw Negan apologize without knowing, but he didn't know she was there. So I guess that made it like where she like begrudgingly was like, he's a good guy.
All right.
Because she saw him apologize about what he did. Because he was like, I feel so bad for what I did to Glenn. It kills me. And she happened to overhear that. So she's like, I guess he's not that bad of a guy. Because they thought, what we need to do? We need to wrap this up so they can have a spinoff together.
So that's the justification. 'Cause I've been asking
No, it's
you
worse.
this-
It's worse. I'm not
Oh,
done yet.
Okay.
We're still only like 13 minutes into the episode. Okay.
Oh my god. How is that even possible?
I don't know. Then one-handed Lydia shows up, but they bring no attention to the fact that her hand was cut off a mere 6 hours ago, and she's
Cool
just
hand
straight
Lydia.
up, honestly, cool hand Lydia shows up, and Ezekiel is like, "What happened?" And Aaron's like, "We'll tell you later," and he says, "All right," and then they move on with the scene again, and I was like, "Okay."
Hey, what are you doing here?
And again, and Lydia literally though was like dying in the last episode from this loss of blood. Now she's like, "I'm ready to fight."
Nice.
I've gotten used to this whole no hand thing, and I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit too. It happens like 20 minutes later, but we're on the confrontation of Lydia.
Yeah.
There's a scene like 20 minutes later, like we're trying to have like a brief moment of downtime to fake the human connection, be like, see, it's about people. So they have it where Lydia's like standing off, and the best part too is now since she doesn't have two hands, she can't just walk into every scene and throw her arms around everybody and just give them these long. Her entire character arc for the last season was how many hugs can I give?
Really?
Every single shot was her throwing her arms around someone and just nuzzling her head into their shoulder.
And lack of hand means lack of hugs.
Who wants to get hugged by a fucking little knob?
The rest of the limb is there.
Well, so Aaron though is like,
Don't fucking hug me.
he's like, I still feel it sometimes too. And it's like, dude, your hand was cut off 2 years ago. Hers was cut off 3 hours ago.
Yeah, she feels
Shut
it
the fuck
way
up.
more.
Shut the fuck up. Don't give her the advice. Let her figure some shit out on herself. Shut the fuck up.
Does she get to wear a cool fucking medieval weapon?
I don't
on
know.
her-
They just had her hand off screen. That was their solution.
Oh, so they didn't show
This
her
would be a
hand-
lot of money to build a second metal thing. And realistically, her hand was only cut off 2 hours ago. So since it's only been 15 minutes, let's just have her hand like on the bomb and the frame swinging.
So she never picks her arm up. Yeah,
No.
that's hilarious.
Never happens. Oh, then then it cuts to a new scene again because we went to another commercial break, and then
Were they these good commercials, or they were like stupid? Like, were they promoting the new spinoffs or anything? It was just unrelated bullshit.
unrelated.
Commercials. Nice. Way to market.
just commercials.
guys.
Yeah, here's a Windows tablet. Here's a Hyundai Genesis.
I'm glad you're explaining who the characters are, because you showed me the trailers before we started talking, and honestly, watching the trailers was just like, why am I at the Olive Garden with all these?
Yeah,
fat
exactly.
people? I didn't know
Dude.
who I was looking at all.
Then we open up. Then we come back to a new scene. They're in the nursery trying to find Coco, Rosita's daughter, female child. Trying to find her baby. And I said, we're in the nursery. And first off, it's like we're actually in the pound because all the kids I thought nurseries would be like, maybe a playpen with like, a fun little cute, colorful 1 foot high fence around, like a little gate, basically, you know, like a little play fence with those styrofoam like puzzle piece mats to play on, and maybe one of those tables with the whole like map on it where it shows the little road you can move cars around. A real kids environment. No, apparently in the Commonwealth, daycare is you put children into dog cages in a room. So there's like 7
like actual dog cage with a lock and everything.
Yeah. Wall, ceiling, and everything.
Jesus.
And I was like, this is weird. And they're just crying hysterically like babies are known to do.
What's the age of that? Just babies? Like toddlers or just all babies?
2 to 4. Okay?
Jesus.
They're children. And I'm like, why are they in dog cages? Then I realized, oh, they're in dog cages because Scott M. Limpdick thought it would be funny. Not cool. He'd be like, you know, it'd be a cool scene. What if we have the zombies trying to kill the babies? It's like, we don't want them to kill the babies. How do we stop them from killing the babies? What if the babies are in cages? So then the zombies are just all like, against the cages as the babies are fucking crying.
Why?
Because we needed to open up the shot.
Daycare.
So then it was, but they broke into the daycare. Then Rosita gets in there and she kills the thing. She's like, I gotta get my baby out of here.
And only her baby?
I think she like lets the other babies go.
Fucking funny.
I think they had a shot of like her opening up the cages, but it's like they're not actually dogs. You can't just open up the cage and let them run away.
Yeah, they're terrified of the
infants.
fucking zombies.
Like, what are you doing, lady?
Run, you're free.
Exactly. And then all the babies are just lunch meat.
Lunchables.
But then again, also, it's like they showed me like 12 kids. I think RJ was there too. And it's just Rick Jr., by the way, for those ill-informed. And it's just, you know, you can start show off with a kid and I'll like him just fine. When you add a kid in the middle of the show, I fucking hate him. All right? A la fucking MJ from Desperate Housewives. I wanted to punt that kid across Wisteria Lane.
Yeah, that kid was bad.
These fucking people suck, okay?
Why is it the case? It's like every fucking show.
Don't know. Then Judith wakes up crying, saying she's like, I'm gonna die. Mom's gonna be pissed because then I won't be able.
For context, which
specify. And then Daryl's like, nah, you fine, Jude. Jude, you fine. And I swear to God, I've never heard anyone call her Jude the entire fucking show, okay? And suddenly it's, you fine, Jude. I promise you'll be fine, Jude. Just listen to me, Jude. Jude, come on, girl, wake up. Come on, Jude, wake up. Also, the cursing, in case you're curious, even after a whole season of doing it, still not natural. Nice. It's always weird things. It's always where like they're talking, they're just like saying, you know, you'd think like someone says, why don't you go fuck yourself, right? And instead, they only use it in circumstances where it's like, where's the fucking mayonnaise? They only use it in these like weird, offhand, like, yo, I didn't put, where's my fucking shoes? What the fuck?
Are you serious?
They've used it, except for the part where he said to Eugene, we're breaking you the fuck out, and then he didn't do anything. Okay? They haven't had a fuck you. They had one part where Negan said like, what the fuck is that? That was like the big one. And they had one more where Rosita was like inspecting something on the ground. She said, what the fuck? And she whispered it that quietly. I don't even know if the microphone picked it up. So the cursing still sucks, okay?
Why bother cursing at that point if you're just not going to implement it normally?
Because they're idiots.
Where's the fucking mayonnaise, guys?
I know.
I'm trying to make a fucking sandwich here. Can I get some fucking mayonnaise for my fucking sandwich?
It's like, how do you have someone just be normal?
I would have thought for sure, why don't you go fuck yourself, but the first thing they used.
No. That'd be too risque. Then a zombie picks up a fucking rock and breaks the goddamn glass wall open like the zombies in the first season. So Daryl's like, we gotta move! And then they all fall further back into the hospital, and he's just dragging Judith's body through the horde once again. And then we have this just giant, just fucking aneurysm worth of secondary dialogue spliced into the show, just like, you know, after recording, putting it in post.
Oh, awesome. That's the best
where there's all these
stuff.
little, you hear, hospital's been breached. And it's just a telephone. You hear 10. They're breaking in. They broke in. There's a hospital. They're coming in. Here's the house. There's zombies over there. This is the quarter. Fall back. Fall back. The people come in. There's houses. There's zombies. They're coming. The glass broke. Fall back. And it's that bad where it's every character who's ever been in the show talks at once. It's incoherent psychobabble.
Awesome.
It's the worst game of telephone. And then you just keep hearing, this ain't clear. We got to go from, this ain't, let them know. Call them. Put them on the radio. They're coming. They broke through. And everyone's just yelling. Okay. And it's just like, can you guys stop for a second?
Can't hear you.
Then it cuts to fucking Eugene back, because that was the hospital. Now we're going back to the daycare spot. So it's Eugene, Gabriel, and Rosita, and Coco. And now they're out of the little nursery. I don't know what happened to their babies. Maybe they're dead. I don't care.
They ran free. She set them free.
Yeah, she let them go like dogs. So now she's carrying her actual human child, the one she thought deserves to be saved.
How old is Coco at this point? Because did she have this kid like 6 years ago?
Dude, the timelines in this show make no sense, okay? And they fucking... I'm just gonna get to it, okay? Just wait. Okay, just fucking wait. So then they're in like an alleyway, which is like...
I gotta say this, because every time you mentioned Daryl running across with Judith in the hospital, all I could picture was when Tobias in season 4 is carrying people throughout the hospital. All I could picture is Daryl like that with Judith.
That's exactly what it was.
It's fucking hilarious.
So then they're in a fucking an alleyway in the Commonwealth, and the stupidest scene I've ever seen happens. And they it was hilarious too.
This is all one episode. It sounds
Dude,
like how
I'm not
far
even
are you?
I'm probably about the halfway point.
That's fucking crazy. Is it just one scene commercial?
Yes.
Next scene unrelated commercial.
Yes.
That's insane.
It's the worst finale
I'm
of all time.
flabbergasted.
Okay? Then they show the scene, and then we just watched the trailer before we started recording so you could have a loose idea of what everything was. And you know that spot where it kept showing someone climbing a fucking gutter? And like they showed that part where they slow
that was
motion.
Rosita.
It was.
Okay.
And they showed someone slow motion jump off of a car to the same gutter, and they showed someone falling off a gutter, and then they showed someone reaching over to the gutter, and then they showed someone climbing on the gutter, and they had a lower shot of the gutter. Okay? Apparently, they thought this scene was really cool. Okay? Because that scene's just the finale, and it's like 2 minutes long. For some reason, they showed it in the trailer 8,000 times. Like, she's climbing a fucking gutter! That's awesome! So what happens is, again, just to clarify who the group is. Who the group is, just to clarify. We have Eugene, Gabriel, Rosita. Okay? Eugene has accomplished fuck all in his life. Gabriel and Rosita have created a child together. Okay? And Rosita's the mother of the child. Okay?
Gabriel's not the
There should be a
father?
pecking order here as far as who gets off to safety first. Okay? What happened in the Titanic? Was it the men first? Or was it the women, the children first, and Billy Zane?
Yeah, I believe it was that.
That was the order. It was women, children, Billy Zane, then the rest of the men.
He's a gorgeous guy.
He's a gorgeous guy. Great head of hair.
I didn't know.
I didn't know. So what happens, okay, is you think who's going to climb that gutter first?
I would have assumed Coco with Rosita pushing him up right behind him.
Coco's doesn't have like hand strength. Okay, Coco's a 1-year-old.
Oh, so then Rosita carrying him up.
That's what you would think.
Yeah.
No, instead Eugene goes first.
Naturally, because he's useless.
And it's not even like where it's him being like, oh, I gotta survive, get out of my way, bitch, and fucking just shoves her aside. Or it's like, I must get back to my lady, or anything like that. No. It's just Rosita's like, Eugene,
I'd want
you go
to.
first. I would love it if they had his character just be like, I'm sorry, I finally have a girl, fuck you, and his that's what he used the fuck you, Rosita, and he runs away. Because this entire episode also is trying to shoehorn the plot of them being like brother-sister relationships, and it's like, yeah, I don't know, I don't have a sister, I don't, but I'm very confident if I did, unlike the way Eugene treats his metaphorical sister, Rosita, by jacking off to watching her get fucked by his friend, I think I'd pass on that. But then that said, just to clarify, we see Abraham slinging dick, and we see Eugene in the corner just wheezing, and we're supposed to be like, what a beautiful relationship between Rosita and Eugene, this brotherly love, this sisterly brotherly love.
It's very normal. Let's start off on a very good,
Arkansas,
natural,
okay?
Nice.
It's ridiculous. So he climbs first, and you think Gabriel, a man of God, would say, my beautiful wife, now you can climb the gutter.
He kicks her in the face and goes
Instead, he's like, well, I'll see you up there. And he climbs the gutter. And then she climbs the gutter, and I think she may have like tossed Coco. I don't remember where Coco was in the scene.
Heaves her up.
Yeah, just heaves it across the field. And then this is ridiculous, okay? It's fucking ridiculous, okay? You're not gonna believe what I'm saying. Okay? Everything else sounded dumb, but you're like, no, the Walking Dead's stupid.
No,
This, you're going to be like, that did not happen.
Okay.
Rosita's climbing for a solid 45 seconds, and she makes about, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 inches of real estate up the gutter.
Naturally.
Even though Eugene flew up the fucking thing. Okay?
Because he's scared.
First off, it was like a screwed on old fashioned, like probably lead pipe gutter for some reason. Because I guess you know those little aluminum white ones wouldn't have really done the whole job here to carry that fat fuck up the wall. So then he gets up there like a goddamn just Sly Cooper, okay? Gabriel
nice
scurries up there just as fast. Rosita, who's the military fucking,
where's
Lara
Coco
Croft
all
of the
this?
Group. Huh?
Who has Coco?
I think she tossed him up to Gabriel at some point. I don't
Oh, yeah,
recall.
you said that. I'm sorry.
I feel like he just disappeared from the shot, okay?
Dude, in my mind, the show's so dumb. Eugene went first, then Gabriel, then Rosita, and they're like, wait, where's Coco? And
that would be better. What happens
So,
instead is
I forgot
Rosita
it
makes
mattered.
3 feet of she climbs up one individual screw's length, and she's just getting pulled by the zombies. She's like,
Oh, the trailer part.
and she's just fucking like getting yanked from side to side, and then she like kicks a few off. Like I guess she's making it up there, and then she climbs up a little bit further, and then she falls off entirely. Entirely, she falls. Even though she's only 3 feet in the air, her body ends up going to complete perpendicular from the building, so she falls like free falls if it's 100 feet, and they have the aerial shot of her falling into the pit of zombies. Okay. And then she jumps up like can't hardly wait when the drunk kid goes back flying onto the table to sing the rest of the song.
No way.
I swear to God.
No way.
She leaps out of a pile of zombies.
No.
Onto a car, hops on top of the car, runs, slow-mo jumps off the car, catches onto the fucking gutter, finishes her way back up there, and I'm thinking, she's dead, right? Like, no, she's not dead. She's a goddamn superhuman. And then I'm thinking, like, she definitely got bit when she fell in that pile, right? She fell in the pile on her back. Spoiler alert. They don't tell you for another 2 minutes. They had to try to have the tension build. She is bit. She's gonna die. Who she tell? Her brother, the masturbator, Eugene. Okay? Now, just to clarify again, we saw her in peril in 2 different circumstances. When she was climbing up the thing with the biters at her feet, so you're thinking, where's her bite? On her calf, on her ankle, on her thigh, maybe on her ass. That'd be cool. Little,
cool.
you know, little crazy little zombie having a little fun. You know, he's like, oh, I'm gonna take a bite out of that. Rest my beer on that shit, right? And then you're thinking, okay, well, she doesn't have any leg bites. Okay, well, let's see. What else we see? We saw her fall off the building and land on her back. She didn't fall on her face where her back was exposed. Her tits, her stomach, the front of her leg, those were things that her nose could have been bitten off. That would have made sense. No. When she shows Eugene her bite, it's her left shoulder blade. And it's like, and also, notice what I said there. I said shoulder blade. It wasn't a chop on the, no. It was, I don't know how the fuck you can physically bite this part. What angle are you getting at as a zombie to bite the lower part of the shoulder blade?
Yeah, it wasn't.
And she fell on her back, and then she popped up.
Also multiple layers of clothing.
Also, you can see the net she's landing in, which I thought was fun.
That was pretty cool.
I'm glad that they were like, fuck it,
suspend my disbelief. My ass.
No, she lands in the net. Who gives a shit? It's a zombie show.
It all led to this. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? So then she gets bit. Rosita dies in slow mo. Nope, she made it the fuck out. The music hits, including some 80s drum roll. When she jumped down the slow motion part, it was like boom, boom, boom. And I was like, okay, weird choice. She literally popped up like the fucking Undertaker, okay? It was ridiculous. And then she has the slow-mo jump, and she clinks the car, and she's all safe, blah, fucking blah. And then, again, she lets Eugene and Gabriel climb first, and she's like, no, go first. No, go right ahead. Fucking I'll wait. And she says it to them where she's like, no, I'll get the next one. Like, it's a fucking cab she's trying to hail in this season. No, it's fine. You can have this one. I'll get the next one. It's like, you're being chased by zombies. And they're just like, yep, we'll go first. Thanks, Rosita.
She, again? This is after she fell.
I'm just looping back to it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Then Aaron's... it's so stupid. And then Aaron's... There's so much senseless dialogue where you just hear Aaron like, we need to do more. And Ezekiel's like, let's do more. Let's do more then.
So it just cuts to this conversation.
Yes,
we gotta do more.
as they're all like running around frantically. And so much dialogue was just recorded afterwards where it doesn't even sound like it's remotely close to being organic.
That's always the best.
And then it's like, then you hear, but we need to take care of Judith first. And then Mercer's like, let's go. We got to save this kid. And then they roll her into a fucking truck, and it cuts to that doctor, the brother of Komika, who's like, yeah, I guess she's fine. And then she's okay after that point. And now Lydia is fucking back, and she's just staring blankly at the show about the whole, I lost my hand 2 hours ago. I can kind of feel phantom syndrome, blah, blah, blah. Then we go back to Lydia, and Lydia is like, I know fucking Elias or Elijah or Isaac or Isaiah or whatever her boyfriend's name is, okay? Apparently that character was in like a whole season of the show wearing a mask, and it was a stunt coordinator performing these awesome tricks, which I actually remember they had this guy like do a whole stupid like, jump, 360 swipe. Yeah, that was the stunt man. And then when they hired the actual actor, apparently he wasn't a stunt man, so he could no longer do any of the physical stuff, so they just said, well, I guess you don't do any of that stuff anymore. That's hilarious. So he's just walking around. I didn't know who the person was, but they introduced him, and Maggie was like, this is the most important person in the group. If he dies, we all die. I was like, who is this character, right? And now he's dating Lydia, whatever his name is. It's so important. I can't remember. It's Elias, Isaiah, Charlie. I'm not sure. And she's like, I know Elijah's dead. People just die. Things don't work out. People tell me they do, but they don't. He's not coming back. And I don't know. That was the dialogue she had. And I was like, you guys forced in a lot of words there. No one. That wasn't like someone was responding. That was just her going a little monologue there.
Oh, by herself?
She was talking to Aaron about the Phantom Limb, and then she's like, Elijah's dead. Elias is dead. And then also, like I said, her and Lydia and Marcus kissed one time, and it's love's true kiss, and everything else.
Marcus made out with a hot one.
Yeah, I guess.
It was one time.
Then Maggie confronts Negan she's like, what's your angle? Why are you helping us? He's like, there's no goddamn angle. I'm doing this for you, Maggie.
Dude,
you know
who
how
are these
bad I
people
feel.
we're talking about? I'm having a hard time following this. Who are these characters?
I don't know. And he's like, if you do this, you'll die. And if you die, they all die. I'm doing this for you.
Who's doing what for who?
I don't know, dude. I can't. Actually, that was too, yeah, he's more like, Maggie, I'm going to do this for you. This is all for you, Maggie.
Oh,
this is all for you.
Now I get it. You're doing Negan now, right? Okay.
Exactly. And then,
did they ever explain? Nothing's hinted at this spinoff.
No, nothing.
What about the Daryl spinoff? Anything?
No.
So he's just in Paris.
We'll get to it. Okay, it's ridiculous. Then Negan says, last night I was on my knees and I started dying laughing. Even though I knew the dialogue was in reference to the previous night when there was in the last episode when there was a gun to his head. When Negan's like, last night I was on my knees. I'm like, yo, what, sucking dick?
Oh, I thought it was a Negan joke. I thought because knees.
He says, last night on my knees, I was fucking taking one for the team, all right? I slurped that fucking cock.
Guess what? Our Commonwealth problem is solved.
And that's when they used fuck. That was the last fuck. They're like, when Negan's going to say, I'm slurping that fucking cock. And they're like, nice. Good stuff. And he's like, I understood what you must have felt. I know I probably owe you more than this. Probably you killed her fucking husband / father of her child in front of her with a baseball bat. And then mocked him as he was dying like, I'm going to find her. I'm going to find her. And then his response is, I probably owe you more than an apology. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I owe you like a whole other show we can do together.
But I'm so sorry for what I took from you, what I took from your son. And then Maggie hangs her head down like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, Sean.
Shut up, Maggie.
Exactly.
Not you too.
And then she walks past him, even though we just saw her do the face of like, I accept your apology. They then said, psych, she doesn't. She walks away and she's like, I do not accept your apology.
Didn't you say like 20 minutes ago that before she overheard it and she was like, oh, he's a good guy.
They don't know what they're doing here. And then she's like, you coming? And he's like, yeah. And then it's like, I guess that's the spinoff?
Yeah.
I guess that's the spinoff, but it's not. And then Eugene's talking to Rosita about how she got bit.
That's it? That's the indication?
No, there's more.
Oh, God. Okay.
Then Eugene is talking to Rosita. We're only like 30 minutes in.
How?
Then Eugene's talking to Rosita and she got bit on her shoulder blade and he's blubbering and she's like, nah, it's fine. Don't let anyone know. Push her together. And he's like, I can't. And he literally just like yells at her. I'm like, dude, chill out, bro. Relax for a second. And then his hot fucking girlfriend walks over and is like, are we cool? And he's like, we're cool. And he's, because Rosita said, don't cry. So that worked apparently. Him being like, we cool. We cool? We cool. That worked.
Nice.
Now it's like the third time in 25 minutes we had Daryl sitting across from Judith as she wakes up yet again. He's like, hey, little ass kicker. And she's like, hey, big ass kicker. And he's like, damn straight. It's absolutely asinine.
Damn straight.
Then Mercer's like, this ain't your fight. These people ain't yours. You need to leave. These people ain't yours. And Ezekiel's like, yes, it is.
Dude, Ezekiel.
So are you. I'm with you. I won't let them fail. Who needs this place? And then there's this cartoonish, again, over-edited, just everyone's talking off screen. They're just forcing their voices for the I'm Spartacus, I'm in thing. And you literally hear overlapping, I'm in, come in, you got me, I got you. Let's do it. Let's focus up. I'm Spartacus. Lead the way, brother. I'm here. I'm joining. I'll also help. I will also volunteer. I'd like to help you. I'm good for the cause. And it's like, guys, slow down.
I'm also here.
We're here as well. It's so fucking stupid.
We're also here.
Then it cuts to Pamela, the fucking governor, because that's an important character. That old
Barbara
fucking
from Shark
shrew.
Tank.
Yeah, Barbara from Shark Tank. And Negan and Maggie are about to snipe her, but they're taking their sweet ass time. And Mercer walks in with an army, and everyone is just screaming in both sides. Again, back up, back up, back up, back up. Put your guns, like, put your guns down. It's just so stupid. Then 277 times people start just, getting shot up and everything else. And then Daryl shows up and Gabriel and that German girl who hasn't talked in the last season. Magna.
What German girl?
Magna, the one who just washes, the one who, the one in the trailer they showed pouring that glass of wine.
Oh, yeah.
She's just been like a busboy during this part of the show. She's back now, I guess.
I thought she died.
And then Mercer goes up to Barbara from Shark Tank and he's like, I invest in people, not products. And you did this. You're a traitor. You shot a child. You let thousands die. And then she turns over her shoulder, now realizing the extent of her change. And you go back to yet another close-up of just her face and her contorting wrinkles and everything else. She's like, oh, what have I done? And then it's the governor's mansion. They have these iron fence outside, and it pans to the side, and there's thousands of people. Not thousands. There's like 15 people outside the gate. Because even though even though the Commonwealth, they keep saying every 5 seconds, Commonwealth is home with 50,000 people. They can only afford to pay 17 extras for this scene. So the whole panic outside the mansion, the governor's mansion, of them all trying to get in, it's like maybe legitimately 92 people.
That's sick.
So then they're like, everyone's faced 10 times. Gabriel walks up with confidence. Pam was like, stop him. And then her general is like, stop. And then his face screams, and he's like, ah! He's like, God wants me to open this door. That's what his face is screaming.
Said?
He doesn't say it. His face says it.
Oh,
the confident smile, his face is like, I have a mission from God. Because 2 episodes ago, he mentioned that he rediscovered God. So you get to loop that whole story back around.
Dude, he is the
and
most
then Scott Gimple, while masturbating violently, was like, "Oh my God, the first time we fuck. The first time we saw Gabriel, he was talking about how he didn't open the door to the church and everyone died, and now he's gonna go open a gate and let them in, and they're all gonna live, and it's a full circle."
Wait, did you remember that, or they show it to you?
No, I'm remembering this.
Oh,
I'm smarter than he thinks I am, okay?
I'm dumber than you. I'm so dumb. I didn't even understood the connection.
So then they have this whole entire, there's like, let's try to just loosely tie up some stuff, right?
No, actually, you know, Scott Gimple was a pretty good writer. That's actually really good.
No.
The way he circles back for Gabriel.
And then he struts past him with his confidence of his whole, I gotta do this for God. And he does say this part, he says, in quote, we're opening this gate and letting these people in. Anyone tries to stop me, and I'll kill you. And then the trained army is like, well, he seems pretty serious.
I thought you were going to say something
The army, okay, who all have fucking these insane assault rifles with fucking bayonets on them and like holographic sights and extended mags and fucking, they're in armor. They're like, well, he seems quite sure of himself.
He said he'd kill them.
He said he'd kill us. And there's 47 of us with 1,000 rounds between us, but this priest knows his shit. Then Pamela goes and she's like, stop, we'll be forced to shoot you. And it cuts to Carol in that big group close that makes no sense for the whole episode. She's like, we'll shoot back. Pretty good threat. It works.
Oh, so then Barb's just like, okay.
No, then a gun is pulled on Gabriel and Daryl's like, stop! And everyone listens.
Dude, your Daryl is so good.
And then even with the horde approaching, he's like, we deserve better than this. He's like, you built this place to be like the old world, and that's the fucking problem. He said, fuck. That's the fucking problem. Because the old world sucks. They're doing their whole, like, you know, adversity, virtue signaling. The world's tough.
Oh, sweet.
And they've done a lot this season. It's been really fun. And then he's like, if I open the gate, the dead enter, not just the living. That's what she says. I'm sorry, that wasn't him. That was me misreading. That's what she said. She said it in normal, but she said it like Barbara from Shark Tank. No, she was all like, if I open the gate, the dead will enter.
That's not how she talks.
Just the living.
If I'm going to open those gates, I'm going to open the gates for the people, not for the product.
And then Daryl pauses for dramatic tension on this light that situation. He stares at her and he's like, yeah?
Who does Gabriel, you said?
Daryl.
Oh, Daryl.
Yeah? If you don't, you lose everything anyway.
Fucking idiot.
And he's like, you got one enemy, and it ain't the Walking Dead.
No way.
Swear
no way he said that.
Swear to God.
That's so dumb.
And then he follows that up by saying, we're not the Walking Dead.
Back to back.
Back to the line with Rick from earlier in season 5. He said, we are the Walking Dead. Now Daryl's saying, we're not the Walking Dead.
You know, I don't remember it exactly in the comic book, but they paraphrased that dialogue for Rick, and it works so much better in the comic book. Whereas the show,
the competent writer, Robert Kirkman.
The comic book,
not a moron.
It's not forced at all in the comic book. Whereas in the show, it's like, hey, we said the title.
And then, by the way, in case you couldn't like entirely picture the scene in your head, the way Daryl delivers that bombshell is the David Caruso taking off the glasses in CSI Miami.
Not at all. I was picturing.
That's the way it was delivered in the line where he was like, where we're going, we don't need roads.
That's the
it was the full setup, okay? So now all of her guards process the wisdom drop, the H-bomb of fucking wisdom that Daryl just provided them, and they all lower their weapons, and because he was like, You're right.
We're not the
Walking Dead.
He's so right, guys.
And then the new general who's listening to Pamela this entire time is straight up like, lower your weapons. And 1 second later, again, outside, night, large group, screams of peril from the civilians, zombies approaching, and she's like, lower your weapons. He's right. Give the priest the key.
Cut the black?
No. So no one listened, but then the question is, no one listened to Mercer.
Wait, I don't know what's going on. Who's outside?
We're at the governor's mansion. Okay.
Okay, and is this a gated community?
Yes, but on top of that, the governor's mansion has like a really like tall brick fence with like a nice cast iron gate.
Okay.
It's like a fancy house.
Okay.
So inside the actual house, in the front yard before the gate is Pamela, the governor, her new general who took over for Mercer when Mercer was arrested 2 episodes ago. When Mercer tried having the group realize Pamela was bad, and she was like, no, fuck you, and she became now she's decided after Daryl told her, not the person she worked under for 12 years, who's literally the hero of the town. When we first got introduced to Mercer, before we saw Mercer,
there's like 6 of you talking at the same time right now.
Before we saw Mercer, we saw a girl in the fucking Commonwealth winning a Halloween costume contest by dressing up as Mercer because he's a hero, and they have all these Uncle Sam, we want you posters around the entire place of him.
Nice.
But for some reason, when he was saying this bitch is bad, she was like, fuck you, you traitorous prick. And then she arrests him. But now when Daryl says it, she's like, you know what, lower your weapons. And it's like, I'm sorry, guys. And all the soldiers, too, who agree with her the first time, it's like, you all threw this guy in jail.
Do we get any resolutions there, or is he still in jail? Oh, so the show just goes to black.
He's there. He's just standing there. My point is they don't address it. They're just like, yeah, I guess Daryl convinced them. It's like, he should shoot that bitch. Okay? He tried preventing all of this. And she was like, no, I'm going to trust Pamela from Shark Tank.
She's Pamela from Barbara from Shark Tank.
And then Mercer walks up to her because now I guess he's back to being the commander since the other girl surrendered. I guess the treason's over and the mutiny stopped. And it's like one of those things where it's like you can either kill your generals, or you can bring them in and then they'll trust you and they'll be in your debt forever. So Mercer doesn't kill that traitorous snide bitch. And instead he goes over to Pamela from Shark Tank and he says, you're under arrest for high crimes against the Commonwealth. Cuff the bitch.
Nice.
Then it cuts to a commercial break. Then they open the gates, the violins play, the people flood in, it's all really dark, I can't see a fucking thing, it's edited poorly.
Cool.
The music sucks. Everything looks like shit.
Oh, sweet.
Then Negan and Maggie are like, damn it, we can't shoot her anymore. Because when they went over there to talk to her, they had a sniper rifle and they're going to kill the bitch. But since she's being arrested, now they can't. And then so Maggie's like, gosh darn it. And then Negan says, take it from me. Someone like that in her position, prison's a hell of a lot worse than death.
Come on, kid, let's go to
New York. And it's like, yeah, why don't you just keep spoon feeding me what you think is happening, Scott? Tell me a little more, Scott. Explain it to me. Her dying is actually not as bad as living in a prison. It's like, first off, Negan, did you die?
Hey, how the fuck do you know?
How are you speaking with such confidence for, dickhead? All right, last night you were on your fucking knees, you said. We know about shit, all right? Then Lydia's, whatever his boyfriend's name, makes it over and they embrace him. He's not dead. So the whole entire point of her saying, I can feel that he's dead was just filler because he wasn't dead. Then Jerry shows up and he's like, where's my wife? And then I think I don't know.
Don't even answer.
Who knows?
Shut up, Jerry. You're not a
Ezekiel says, come with me, we'll find them. Never see it again. We see Ezekiel later. We see Jerry later. Never saw his wife again. Is she dead? Is she alive? I don't know.
That's cool.
Like I said, the entire time is just reaction shots, so it's hard to follow. No one's filming together.
That's awesome.
Any of them. At the very most, there's 2 people in the scene together. It's like that scene from Babylon where everyone making fun of on Twitter for the scene with Rami Malek and everyone was just like, you couldn't tell where anyone was standing in proximity. That's the entire finale.
That's cool.
Then Pamela walks up to the fucking gates because now they close the gates and now the zombies are there. So thankfully none of the zombies made it on the first time they opened them and now the zombies are all there. And then Pamela's like, my life's ruined. So they try to do that teaser to the comic books when Carol walks into the fucking fence to kill herself. So they have her walk into the fence and she ends up, the zombie who happens to be there is fucking Hornsby Lance, that jerk off douchebag.
Sick.
And even though he got killed in like 2 episodes ago and shot in the fucking neck, which was such a dumb thing, Daryl and Carol like get him out, like, no, we're gonna let you escape, you can leave. And he's like, all right, fine. And he just tries to get the jump on him, turns around, picks up a gun, doesn't get a single shot off, gets shot with an arrow through his neck, dies, bleeds out on the floor, just starts choking on his own blood. He's dead. That happened sick. 3 days ago. 18 miles away. Somehow he's in the front of the line of the horde of zombies in the Commonwealth at the mansion.
The zombies remember things, dude.
They keep saying that this season. So then he walks up to her and she walks up to him and thinking, oh, he's going to kill her. And she walks up and he starts grabbing her and he has the arrow sticking out and he's just like, ugh, right? And he's trying to get her. And before she can bite him, Maggie snipes the walker and saves her in seconds. She's like, you know what, Negan, you're right. She shouldn't die. She should go to prison. And they spoon feed it to us again.
You know what? Now I agree with you, Negan.
And then Maggie says, now we need to take this place back. This is my home and I must protect it. Okay, she has the whole Home Alone thing.
Nice. So how come? Why are they going to New York then?
We don't know yet. Then it's a commercial break again. Surprise, surprise.
God.
Then Mercer.
You sure this is a 2-hour episode? It's a lot of fucking commercial breaks.
There's a lot of commercial breaks.
There's a lot of fucking commercial breaks.
Then Mercer gives a voiceover as we see the group set up, and you hear the variants are too dangerous to just lead away. So here's the new plan. First, we need to take a vehicle out of the estates. Then we must clear a path. But do not engage the Rotters more than absolutely necessary. That's a quote. I wrote around that shit to write that down verbatim.
I was gonna say it sounded
Okay.
very Walking Dead-esque in its dialogue.
Just to clarify, here's the plan, guys. The variants are too dangerous to lead away. So here's the new plan. First, we need to get a vehicle out of the estates, clear a path, but do not engage the Raws more than absolutely necessary. You know what it sounded like when I was watching it?
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Video game dialogue.
Oh no, that's not what I thought you were gonna
It
say.
sounded like your objective when it says like the car is 300 meters away, clear out the facilities, eliminate all enemies.
I was gonna say it sounds like that thing that Luke Hamill always makes fun of George Lucas
It's
for
just as bad as
having.
that too.
And they should have just removed that dialogue.
And then kill zombies, kill some more zombies, some radio chatter of like, we're clearing Sector 7.
Oh, cool.
Sector 4 is overrun. Just a little bullshit, again, added dialogue.
We need another Jan Michael Vincent, the Quadrant 4.
Exactly.
We need another one. There's only 8 Jan Michael Vincents in the
And then you
16
hear,
quadrants.
We diverted the sickos. Delta Bravo team. Go, go, go. It's just so stupid. So then I tune out for the next 3 minutes because it goes on.
You have that time to spare also.
I
the
do.
finale, which
Yeah,
is
and the
awesome.
finale just have, again, nonsensical dialogue. Then this is where the song comes into play, okay? And as they're showing the montage of them killing these zombies, okay? And they also have this giant bomb go off.
You said somebody said something to mention the song before. Did you say what they said
No.
or not yet? Okay.
Because I'm going to tell you the song that starts playing,
Gotcha.
okay?
Gotcha.
So it starts doing like a montage of them going to the gas reserves and like taking out all the gasoline drums and putting them all over the place. They're going to blow up the entire thing, okay?
Okay.
So for the place they
That's
need
their
to protect,
solution a lot of the time.
they need to blow up the entire Commonwealth, okay? So what happens is you're seeing like a montage of them strategically placing
Didn't Maggie
things.
just say she's to protect
Yes,
this place?
she
Does she know
did.
what that word means?
She means in a more metaphorical sense.
Well, based on Rick's example, all they do is go to places.
Yeah,
and
they're
fuck
teaching
shit
by
up, so they're
example.
just
So she's
used
like,
to
I
it by
guess this is
now.
how you save the day. So then they're setting up the zombie stuff and everything else. So that you see, it's like a montage again. Yet another montage in the finale, okay?
Nice.
But this montage has a song to it. And what song is it?
Can I guess?
Sure. You have 3 guesses. Rapid fire.
It's not your fault.
No.
That would have been cool.
When
only
you
guess.
first... Okay, no. The actual thing is they started blasting the Cult of Personality.
What?
Blasting it.
Open my eyes.
Yes. And the hilarious part
Did someone
is...
say open my eyes?
Yeah. No. Daryl said the phrase cult of personality like 30 minutes prior.
We're not the Walking Dead. We're the cult, of personality.
Exactly. It was that stupid.
That's so fucking weird. Dude,
So
how
then-
do they even have that in their budget to get that
Dude,
song?
it must have been they must have looked through like the fucking catalog of licensing and like, okay, we can spend what's like the biggest bang for, and they scrolled all the way down like on page 740, like, all right, we can put Cult of Personality for only like $1,000.
Dude, when they sold their... Remember Triple H was talking how hard that was to get the rights there for CM Punk? Apparently they just dropped their stock value tremendously.
I must have.
If it's only $1,000 for The
It
Walking
doesn't make
Dead
sense.
to use
They play
it.
that song and it's like, stop doing this stuff, guys. You guys have the worst song selection at every time. Remember when they played Burning Down the House that one time?
No. It must have been that fucking bad I blocked
It was ridiculous. Okay, they played it for like 15 seconds because I guess that was all they could pay for.
I remember one time Rick puts like a song in the CD player. He's like,
It's
the worst fucking song ever played.
You know
He's
what's worse
just
than that?
snapping along.
They're setting up speakers as I don't even know. Oh my god! I forgot. They
Dude, the aneurysm.
I know
you
my face just
had.
completely shut down. Cult of Personality wasn't just playing for our benefit; it was playing to them.
Oh, that's sick.
They had a record, and they had the deaf chick of all people going around installing the stereos
I like this
strategically, and she kept nodding her head like to the vibrations.
Feel the vibrations.
Exactly.
Feel it.
That would have been funnier. And then so they're playing. So she's like, "Yeah, I can feel the vibrations of living color right now." And so then they play the song, and then once the song finishes, I'm sorry, you get to the gate, and then when you're ready, let's do this. And they're like, "We're Blue Wolf, Blue Team, ready to go. Come on, when you get this, we need." This is a direct quote. They said,
It's so funny when you're like, this is a direct quote, and then the dumbest fucking
"This
thing
is
you
Blue
say.
Wolf. We're a go. Hey, come on. We need to get to the rendezvous point. I hope this works." And then Daryl's, I don't even remember who said it, but someone said it. And then Daryl's response was, "If it doesn't, we're dead."
We're the Walking Dead.
Exactly. And then a bunch more establishing shots and some random close-ups of faces and some people doing shit. And then the song ends and it's this MacGyvered explosion. So once the song ends and like the needle skips, it causes a chain reaction of these 2 sparks. And then it shows the whole entire thing of this giant
nobody in that
explosion.
fucking crew
and
is
it's this
smart enough to
massive,
rig that.
gigantic, fucking cataclysmic, gargantuan explosion. And it was like, you know what? I guess Christopher Nolan was right. When it's blatantly a CGI explosion, there's nothing to it.
Nice.
At all. It was the weakest, most tamest, it was like, they thought, well, as long as the whole entire frame's orange, it pretty much gets the point across. And I was like, I guess. So now we have 20 minutes left, okay?
What?
We have 20 more minutes, okay?
It wasn't just Fade to Black, here's the
No,
spin-offs.
but the best part is when it gets to the Fates of Black part, they did it like 9 times.
Oh, sick.
They're like, well, we had like a couple different endings. I couldn't pick one, so I just decided to do all of them.
You guys see Lord of the Rings?
And also
We're
the
doing
order
that
of the
approach.
endings too. They have. I'll jump ahead. They have a fucking like a goodbye between Carol and Daryl, and it's like a sentimental scene, and then they have another scene together, and then the show ends. It's like, guys,
What's the
who
song?
edited that out of order?
It's been a long way.
Exactly. Honestly, kind of. So then Pamela's in a jail cell, and they cut from the mindless action for 40 minutes to give us some stupid-ass story before it wraps up. And Pamela's talking to Carol about leading, and she's like, I did my best. How do you pick the person to do the job no one wants to do?
And Carol's
And
like,
then Carol's like, we already worked as a team to decide to keep you alive.
dude, is it really this robotic?
I swear to God.
Oh my God.
And then, and also it's like, first off, you dumb fucking bitch. Okay, as far as you already working together for this insane brain trust solution you arrived at, you know what? As a prisoner, you did that to Negan like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it didn't really
this isn't
work
a
out
new
too
idea,
well.
Scott. Okay, we're familiar with this concept.
Yeah, but now it's at the Commonwealth that's happening. It's entirely different.
And then she says it in quote, we've all done things to stay alive.
we're on the worst kind of things. Just
Stay alive. Okay? And then it's the garble back and forth. And she's like, now we don't need to worry about who gets your house at least. That's one less thing to worry about because they blew it up.
Dude, every fucking
get the
thing you
joke?
say is supposed to end like, and
Oh,
we
the-
got it.
And me.
The real cop, or whatever the fuck he says. My favorite line of the show, you think I remember what the fuck he says at this point.
Then we cut to Negan. New scene. Negan is throwing stones, literally. Not even skipping them in a pond. I mean, he is throwing stones into a grass field.
Oh, what?
I don't know.
I thought you were just going to say he's throwing like an idiot into the pond, not trying to skip it. He's just lobbing stones.
Into a pile.
Fucking loser.
I guess I couldn't find a pond
Go
in
kick
Georgia.
rocks,
I know,
moron.
literally. And then he's also like, he's looking at his Whisperer mask and he like tosses it to the ground saying he's left it behind, even though we've seen him do that 5 times when he killed Alpha and left it behind.
And you know what? I get that the fucking Whisperers have a philosophy that's different from our main character's philosophy, but that mask shit is so unhandy. Can you stop being so judgmental about it and just keep your mask?
I know.
Just don't be an asshole.
Well, it's been really fun because for the last season, so I said Lydia was really good at giving hugs.
Yeah.
The other thing she was really great at was saying,
I'm selling
those,
more eggs
no,
than
no.
Oprah's selling hugs.
No, all she would say, she'd either give a hug, and the only dialogue she could have was her saying, no, that's not a zombie. That's a I can tell. That's a person walking. That's definitely not dead. That's the Whisperers.
Because she's so well versed in Whisperer walking. Because
Yes.
she's hugs so many people should understand.
No,
how
Whisperer
movement
walking.
works.
She knows how movements work.
Uh-huh.
So listen, I'm not even kidding you, Rob. This isn't a joke. There's been
okay,
7 scenes in the last season that entail her pointing out that's not a regular horde. There's some people in that horde.
Wow.
And she's always right too.
But also, shouldn't our main characters
No.
know this? Considering all the times
No.
they've walked amongst the dead.
Unfamiliar with patterns and habits.
I don't
Only
think
she
Lydia
is.
is like the,
That's where you'd be wrong.
this isn't karate. She didn't like
That's
learn
where you'd be
her
wrong.
craft.
She's actually a brown belt. So,
Fuck, I know.
oh, and then he's throwing stones, right?
Kick rocks.
And he throws his mask away, and then she walks up to him and she like thanks him.
Oh, Maggie.
Yeah.
Thanks for killing my husband. 'cause
And
now we
she's
can get
like-
together.
She's like, I've been thinking about these words for so long,
I love you, Negan.
and I don't know. I don't think I could ever forgive you. And she says, and now I know. This is where we're at to quoting.
Oh, sick.
There's a lot of quotes here. This is a long point, okay?
Okay.
And it's not me just only writing down her responses. He doesn't. She pauses for a response. And he doesn't respond. It's paced very poorly. So she says, "'Cause I know now I can't. Glenn was beautiful. I'll never love anyone like that again. I remember his smile, his goodness, the way he made me feel, the way he felt inside of me."
No
that part
fucking
I
way.
added. I'll make you sure you're listening.
Jesus Christ.
Then she says, "But when I look at you, minus the inside of me part, that would be pretty cool." She says, "When I look at you, all I see is that bat coming down his head, blood running down his face. I hear him calling for me, and I hear you mocking him while he's dying. So I can't forgive you, even though I am grateful you did save my son. Even though I know you're trying, I'm trying too. I don't want to hate you anymore. I don't want to hurt like that. I don't want my son to see anyone has that kind of hold over me or that kind of power. If you and Annie want to stay, you've earned your place. And if I can't look at you the same day, some days, or work with you on others, and if I can't move on, that's why. Because all I have are my memories, and I don't want to remember Glenn like that. And then she walks away as Negan just stirs and is like, oh, I'm in my feels now. God, so she walks over to him and she says all of that. He didn't respond to a word of it. Do you remember how many things I said?
Dude, it was painful to listen to.
She had every thought she could have had over the last 6 years. By the way, that's how long it's been. It's been 7 or 8 years since Glenn died. Okay? So I guess for the last 8 years, she's been working on that, and that's what it came out to be. It must have been those things where she had it really mapped out in her head that she got a little nervous and just fucking started spiraling. And she's like, I thought you would have responded. I thought you would have like said something.
I thought she was going to
then they have like, all right, we have like 10 minutes left of the song, 10 minutes left of the show. Better play another song, okay? What song do they play?
Everybody Hurts?
No, Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, right.
Why? And a landslide. Because they need to do a montage, that's why. So then everyone's having a feast now. Rosita still hasn't turned.
She's immune. She's the first immune person.
No, they're just bad at pacing.
Oh.
Eugene is smiling as she's like cuddling into her kid. Everyone's eating. Judith is feeding.
What if she turns right then and there cuddling her kid?
Daryl's feeding Judith's dog scraps. It might have been I think it might have been that sequence they showed, that picnic sequence. I don't even know if that was like current footage. I don't know. It was stupid. She's giving the dog food. And then Komiko is like giving a toast because of all the characters who should talk. It's Komiko.
Yeah.
And she said she's giving a toast. And you know what her toast is? She's like, first off, how would you get first thing comes to your head. Don't think about it. How you start off your toast? What's the first 3 words of your toast?
Fuckers, fuckers, fuckers.
Fuckers, fuckers, fuckers. How we doing, boys? I would have been great. You know what she says? She says a toast to Luke, and everyone says to Luke, and that's the end of the scene. That was the toast she gave. That was the character who had to talk during Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, that's so fucking funny.
And everyone's like, you're right, to Luke, the guy we haven't seen in over a year. Show's not over yet.
So fucking funny.
Now Negan's walking. Now then it cuts to inside, and Daryl's like doing something. Again, the shots don't make sense. I think Daryl's next to someone having a conversation. Like, I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I'm real glad that fucking chick from John Carter came back too. By the way, just for all that to mean absolutely nothing and leading to nothing.
Oh, I'm getting to that. I'm not done yet. That's no.
Oh, because you have 10 minutes left. So remind me, there's no wrap up to anything. Okay, I'm sorry.
So then Daryl like looks over his shoulder and happens to see Negan walking away. And Negan looks over and he pauses and he like just smiles. He's like, hey, with a face like, hey.
It's like American Pie. They raise their glasses to each other and smile.
Pretty much, actually.
That's awesome.
Then he walks away. Then Magna and Kimiko are talking. Characters who haven't been seen talking 2 seasons. And Kimiko is like, can I just say...
To Luke?
No. She literally says, quote, can I just say, end quote. And then they just start making out.
Who?
Kimiko and Magna, because apparently they were in love this whole time or something. I think they might have been dating at one point, but they haven't talked in 2 years. And all we've seen Kimiko do is be fucking Ally McBeal in the Commonwealth. And all we've seen
so
Magna do is be party down with the white shirt and all. Okay?
Uh-huh.
They haven't talked. There was one part where Kimiko, that wasn't even her. It was Connie talking to her. They haven't talked once. I'm wrong, okay?
Nice.
So they start macking out, which actually, that wasn't that much of an issue for me, that part.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I could wrap my head around that one. But also, they thought it was way too much where I could tell.
They were like, more moments like that, actually.
But they were doing it where they were like, this is the moment everyone's waiting to see. It's like, I forgot they even knew each other. Okay?
Yeah, honestly, you can't have characters not talk for 6 years. Expect to know they're together.
Now Rosita is sitting and she's suddenly pale as a ghost. Now she's sick.
Oh. Like I said, when she's cuddling the kid.
And then Gabriel sits down, he's like, we cool? And she's like, we cool.
Oh, sick. That's the new show's catchphrase, we cool.
And then she's just like, I want to remember this moment. And then he immediately is like, oh, wait, we're not cool. She's dying. Why else would she say that?
Does anybody give the needed Fast and Furious speech about family
soon?
and Corona?
Yeah, actually, I'm not even kidding. Yeah.
Okay.
The whole entire last 4 minutes of the show is that.
Nice.
I'm not even kidding.
Does Vin Diesel come in?
No.
That'd be fucking sick.
And then she's like, I want to remember this. He's like, you're going to die. And she hugs him and they embrace. Then Judith looks over and she understands too. And then there's a 47-second shot of her figuring it out where she's like, wait, no, carry the 4. And then if she's pale and she's being, and then maybe she's there. And then she's dead. She's dead. She's dead. She's dead. Okay. So you see her visually think about all that stuff. And then it cuts back. And then it's a commercial break again. And then Rosita's brought to the bed by Carol and Maggie. And I guess someone like told them during commercial break because we don't see their reaction. We just see them talking to her. Uh-huh. And then they kiss her. But not like the cool hot way that Kimiko and Magna kiss. It was like a kiss on the forehead goodbye. Ugh. Not to mislead anyone. It would have been cool if seeing Maggie and Rosita be like, well, since you're dying, I always want to make out with you one last time. Rosita's like, same. and then they make
I
out.
would like to have seen that spinoff instead of this Negan
Well-
Maggie. This doesn't make any sense. She doesn't forgive him, so why are they traveling to the other part of the country?
No one knows.
Or a couple states up.
Then Gabriel's like now giving a eulogy or something, and it's super lame and not cool, and I wasn't listening, and I didn't even care enough to quote it. It was just fucking stupid. So I said, you know what? You can just assume how dumb the dialogue was based off everything else, because fuck Gabriel. And fuck him for somehow being in the majority of the goddamn show.
Yeah, honestly.
And how it ends with, it's all about his arc of being like, I found God again.
Dude, he was so much better on Teen Wolf.
Yeah, he was, being a veterinarian and shit,
Yeah,
not
he
some
sucks
dumbass,
on Walking
bitch-ass
Dead.
priest. Yeah, that ain't my father. Now Eugene comes to talk, and he's like, remember when I jacked you off, and when I was jacking myself off to you and Abraham and coitus?
How could I forget?
I'm gonna really miss that. I wouldn't be the man I am today if I hadn't met you. I've had blue balls. And he runs away, scaring off. Then let me flash forward a whole entire fucking year,
Of course.
because there's 7 minutes left. Let's do another time jump. This season's already had 3 of them. Let's do a 4th time
What
jump.
year are they in at this point? 2030?
2047.
Yeah, really?
Daryl's 62 years old.
You didn't even mention the best part with the fucking 19 months and 6 hours ago and an act of
Yeah,
God.
that was a new thread this season.
Oh, yeah,
they
then 20
just
minutes
jump ahead,
later.
where instead of just being a year ahead, they're like, no, it's 1 year, 6 months, 13 days, 7 hours, and 34 godforsaken minutes later. It's like, guys, drop dead. Flash forward, Eugene now has a daughter. What's her name? Rosie.
Rosita. I should have guessed that.
It's probably short for Rosita, but I don't have to infer that because we only got to see her for a second.
it's only
and he was
Rosie?
like, oh, sweet little Rosie, isn't she a cutie? And that was his last line I think we got from him. Also, his hot fucking girlfriend lost the baby weight real fast.
Oh, wow.
Because she looks just as goddamn good, and that baby's like 2 months old. And also, so did they get pregnant immediately?
Yeah.
And everything's back immediately? And they had some giant-ass fountain that had like Rosita's name engraved into it, like a golden, like on a
gold
park
plate.
bench is
Yeah.
donated.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, who's doing this? Who's the plaque maker in the town?
Well, remember when Daryl said we're not the Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Whatever, they really got everybody's back together to work together.
And just,
so
yeah, they started just.
it was really
They
quick
probably had
once
done the
anyone
music
heard that.
montage and everything got fixed really quickly.
Yeah, you forgot about the music montage.
They played fucking like Sabotage and everything went to normal. Or Intergalactic. Then Ezekiel's given a sermon saying, we aren't bonded by blood, but we're family. But I, your newly elected governor,
I thought this guy was dying of cancer for
he got
6 years.
he got thyroid surgery and he no longer has cancer.
They just happened to have a thyroid surgeon on staff at the Commonwealth.
Kamika's, but the guy who said, I guess Judith's fine, that guy earlier, he was like, I fucking, I don't know.
Oh, I guess he
There's
doesn't
no-
have
there's no-
cancer.
I don't know. All we saw was him go in the room. Then we had, then like 3 episodes later, we saw Ezekiel. He's like, yeah, no more fucking tumor.
Did he do that trick they used to do where he just like held a piece of chicken and pressed
Yes.
against his neck and he's like, voila.
Yeah, and then he collapses and dies. Yeah, he starts bleeding from his nose and shit. Then he says, but I, your governor, and your lieutenant governor, Michael Mercer.
Who?
Mercer, apparently his
Mercer's
first name is
first name's
Michael.
Michael?
I don't know. Apparently,
I thought Mercer was his first name. Mercer's his last name?
apparently,
What?
apparently,
Michael?
and then it
Michael.
cuts to Princess, who's like, woohoo, yeah! And then Ezekiel is like, we live by the words, and then everyone claps, and it's like, first off, how the hell were you elected? No one knows you were the king, and no one knows about where was he? The sanctuary? No, Hilltop.
No.
No, what
The
was
Kingdom.
he?
I think it's called the Kingdom.
No one knows about that. All he was in this town in Commonwealth, he got elected. All he was in the Commonwealth was he ran the fucking petting zoo.
Yeah, and the guy spoke like he was in some Shakespeare play.
He ran the petting zoo. Komika was the new fucking Esquire.
Yeah, but don't you know anything about Office? It goes lawyers, parks, recreation.
And the
which
guy
you
who was
fall
their
under.
right hand in command general, who they had a poster of saying, we want you, Sam, he was the lieutenant governor.
He's never interested in politics.
I guess so. Then the deaf chicken Daryl signed for a bit saying something, and I couldn't write it down because it was too hard to read and type, so they were just probably all like, we're not the Walking Dead. No, we're not. I agree.
Have fun in France.
See you later.
Bye, bring me back something nice.
Then Lydia and her boyfriend walk up to Judith, and Judith hugs Lydia like, oh my God, hey! And she's like, hey, Jude. And I was
Who's
like,
this, her best friend or someone else?
no, this is Lydia, who I've never seen talk to Judith. And also, apparently,
now they all call her
Jude's just a
Jude.
thing. And she's like, she hands her a package, and Judith's like, what
Does
is
Judith
this?
really need the nickname Jude? It's not that
Yes.
long of a name.
And she's like, when she hands her a pack, like a box, and Jude's like, what's this? And she's like, I can't say. I'm just told to drop it off. See you later, Jude. And then her boyfriend's like, bye, Jude.
It's a
And then he
bomb.
walks away. And then it's like, I just watched this entire season and still don't know where Jude came from.
This season.
She opens the box. It's a compass, and there's a note inside from Negan, and it's a voiceover, and it's Judith.
I'm in New York. Just for the Statue of
this
Liberty.
this was the compass she gave him when he escaped from the prison
I
originally.
just remember that.
No, I did though. Remember that though?
What did
Remember when he
say?
escaped? Remember he was like their prisoner in Alexandria and she let him go?
Dude, I barely remember anything.
She gave him a compass and he was like,
Judith, this has already helped me find my way, and I'm returning this to you in the hope I can guide
How?
you to your dreams.
The
Thank you
fucking
for letting
post
me use it
office?
for so long. Sincerely, Jeffrey Dean. Negan.
Then they show hard cut. Now they're showing a wall of the dead memorialized in Alexandria, and it just shows like these random ass names. Like it said Glenn, Nicholas, Bobby. I'm like, who the fuck is Bobby?
Yeah, who the fuck is Bob?
I have no idea. And also, when does Alexandria have a wall of the dead? Like it's fucking that wall of the Vietnam
Memorial.
soldiers. Yeah. Then Judith and Gracie had their long-awaited reunite to say, Judith, Gracie, they get to hug as best friends.
Hi, best friend.
Then Lydia, again, this is just rapid fire. We have like 4 minutes left. Like we gotta get through all this shit, okay?
Uh-huh.
So then Judith and Gracie reunite the old friends. Then Lydia delivers Gabriel a package from someone named Father Frank at Oceanside.
Oh yeah, Father Frank.
And then Aaron says, quote, I never thought we'd get back to this. I had hope, but we were all very lucky. And then Gabriel cuts him off and says, not luck, it's effort. We have so much to be proud of. Our friends,
Shut up.
our family, our community. And then I said, this isn't him, but I'm thinking, so it's not luck. So was Rosita just not unlucky? She just didn't try hard enough?
Yeah, she had no effort. Bitch was lazy. She didn't do anything.
It's gonna be really fun to see how he just spins into his daughter saying, yeah, Coco, I'm sorry, she just didn't try hard enough to live for you.
Also, Gabriel's a dick. Fucking Aaron's having a nice
Luke
little
and Rosita
moment.
are just total pussies. Luke, Rosita, whatever Luke's girlfriend was who died in the second of the episode, they weren't unlucky. They were just pussies.
Yeah, they were just lazy.
Now we get to go see Judith go to Hilltop and say, Aunt Maggie! And she runs and jumps into her arms.
And she goes, hey,
and then Carol all of a sudden has short hair again, like back in season 3 short hair Carol.
Witcher looks gone.
Yeah, entirely. No explanation either.
That's
I think they just had her come back and film. She's like, I already cut my hair. You know, I think it was a wig. Maybe they threw the wig out already.
Oh, fuck. We threw in the garbage.
And then Carol's like, I heard you wanted to talk. And then Daryl's like, I want to talk about the future. There's a lot out there. I want to study. I
want to see the world.
It's about time we start to do some looking.
I've always been meaning to take up French.
And she's like, she's all like, I'm blanking here.
Take me to Paris. I don't know what you're trying to reference.
What the hell is that thing people say who are French?
Oui, oui.
No, that's all I can think of is oui, oui, pee. That's all I'm thinking of. No, it's fucking,
Les incompetents.
No, River Dirty. What's the goodbye for France?
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Fine, something like that. God damn, man. I just fucking stumbled. That was like Scott Mimble writing the entire episode.
Oh, you have to jerk.
And then she looks at Daryl and he gives her the nod. So I guess she's like, when he said I have to go, when he was like I have to find people, and she was like, she gave him the nod. She's like Paris, and he was like Paris.
Bring her back a baguette.
Pretty much. I would prefer that dialogue, honestly. Bring back something from France.
Bring me back something French.
Yeah,
That's what he
exactly. And then now Carol is like now they're talking at a new scene. Now they're at a lake.
Did they just say goodbie?
They just
the
said
third
goodbye.
time.
They just said goodbye.
But now they're at a new
she was
lake.
crying, and the scene ended with him like pulling her in for an embrace, and she's like hugging him, and she's like smiling. She says, "You're my best friend" or whatever.
I thought the fucking whatever.
Now they're at the lake, and it's and Daryl's like, "I wish you were coming with me, but this will be good for you." And I'm sorry. That's what she says. She says, "I wish I was going with you. This will be good for you." And he's like, "I'm so proud of you. No, I really am. You took Hornsby's job and you made it your own.
I thought Ezekiel took. Oh, that's Barbara's job.
You made it better for you, for the kid. You keep making it better." And it's like, what was Hornsby's job? He was like a sleazy little fuck toy.
Oh,
I think honestly, I'm pretty sure all Hornsby did was like go down on Barbara. I think that's all he did was eat pussy. So I guess Carol's just blowing Ezekiel, which I guess is nice. They used to like each other. They had an episode where she was like, "I still love you, but we can't be together," and he's like, "I know."
But now they can be together.
Now they can be. So I guess she's just now his fucking mouth slut, like Hornsby was for Barbara. Because you know what Barbara invested in? People. Not products. And then she's like, "You will too." And then she's like, "It's not like we're never going to see each other again." That's what he says. And then she says, "I'm allowed to be a little sad. You're my best friend." And then they embrace on this bench.
Oh, yeah, they're best friends.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
And then she says goodbye. And then suddenly he's hugging, apparently RJ and Judith were also there. We're here as well. And he hugs them goodbye.
We're also here.
And then he's like to Judith, "Well, I'm out there. If I find anything, see anything, I'll bring them both. I'll bring them both home. I'll bring them home, all right?" And then she says,
Whoa. What'd you just say? He'll bring them both home? So RJ and Jude.
he's leaving them now with someone else to be their new parent.
Oh, I thought you were saying he's going with Daryl. I'm like, that's what the fucking trailer said.
No.
Gotcha. You threw me off for a second.
And then Judith's like, Uncle Daryl, you deserve a happy ending too. And then he says, I'll be back. And she's like, I know. And then
I'll
he
be
hugs,
back on Christmas Day.
Then he hugs Ezekiel goodbye, tells Carol he loves her. She says, I love you too. They hug. He rides off into the sunset. And now since he's alone, we also now, even though this isn't part of the episode, now we can establish the fact that, okay, so the whole Carol love storyline was a waste. The whole Connie love storyline was a waste. The whole Leah love storyline was a waste since they just had her get shot in the head by Daryl, the one from John Carter, who I still don't know what she brought to the show, or her gang of, there was something called like, they were like the Pirates or the Phantoms.
With the cool kids.
Or the fucking publicists.
Elves with
no, it was something with a
attitude.
P.
Don't worry.
The
we're
Prairie
good guys.
Dogs. They had some stupid name, and besides looking super sexy, I don't know what she was doing. And then after he leaves, it cuts to now this just upbeat song, like this, copyright. Since they had Landslide and fucking
Now it's I'm Walking on Sunshine.
and they had some what was Cult Personality. They had to do like some copyright free instrumental song.
But
And it was some upbeat, and they oversaturate everything. And Daryl's driving past a lavender field of all this bright purple that's suddenly a colorful show. And they're showing him on the highway. I'm pretty positive it's just B-roll footage from Ride with Norman Reedus. Because there's a lot of footage of him riding on a... I mean, did they really film all this for the show? And then he drives past the zombie, and the zombie he drives past...
So he drives to France?
Yeah. And
That's
they want you to
crazy.
know it's a zombie show, so they show a zombie. You know who the zombie is? I noticed immediately. Greg Nicotero.
Oh, I thought I was going to say that dude in the tank from the first season.
Then it fades to black. I'm like, thank God it's over.
It's not though. I can tell you're telling. No, there's something else
Someone
coming.
lights a match.
Oh God!
Right to the camera in the dark.
And his name is Rick Grimes.
Now there's a fire. Now it's Rick.
Oh yeah, I
Rick's
called
here.
it.
Now we see Michonne. Okay, now someone's writing in a journal. Now Rick is doing that thing from Scrubs where there's a rear projector behind him when they're sending off Zach Braff.
No way.
And he's talking, and it's just showing this archive footage, and you see Shane and Lori and Andrea, who looks so good. And you see Glenn and Merle and all these characters. You see all the scenes from the show. And he starts talking. He's like, I think of the dead all the time and about the living who I lost. Okay?
That's how people talk.
And then it cuts to Michonne. And this entire part, instead of having Rick and Michonne in the same spot talking, no, apparently they haven't found each other yet, so they're just both searching, and they're both doing voiceovers, and they just keep cutting each other off, okay?
Oh, that's
And this
cool.
goes on forever, okay? So then she says, I tried to get you and your brother again and again. It's too far for the radio now. I know that, but I still got you and you got me. We're connected. We're always connected. We're still
I got
connected.
you, babe.
And then Rick says, I think about them every day. And then Michonne says, everyone we ever lost. And then Rick says, their faces, what I learned from them, how they made me who I am. So much more than I ever was. So much more than all of this made me who I am. And then Michonne says, we'll always be together even when we're apart. We, together, are the strongest thing. We're love. We are love, and love is
built
endless.
this city.
So we, those gone. And then Rick says all of our lives, and Michonne says those away, and Rick says the common one life, and Michonne says we are endless.
I almost said Commonwealth
and Rick says
there.
we're together. Pieces of the whole that just keep going for what we gave to each other. One unstoppable life, one true love. You showed me that. You gave me that. You gave me hope. And then Rick and Michonne are smiling in their retrospective flames, because I thought they were next to each other, and then apparently they're not next to each other. They're just having this
Oh, they do the
voiceover.
whole cool grease thing where their faces just overlap.
Yes. Not quite. Just harsh cuts. That's too much editing. First off, that was a lot of non-bullshit, wasn't it?
It's all bullshit.
all bullshit.
My
okay?
head hurts.
Next morning, another song plays, a new one. Not a faint, just another shitty song.
I'm sorry. This is still. We're still going on after the show went to black.
Yep, went to black again. We came back from black yet again. Then we have Rick saying, I know you're back there. I know, sorry, this is Michonne. I know you're back there. I know your brother is back there. Just as I know he's out there. Your father, somewhere. Not just as a part of us, but he's still alive. He's out there. I will find him. I'm going to find him. Because I know he's trying to find us.
Is he? 'Cause I never got that impression.
And then there's a montage of him walking around barefoot in a new look. He's got a new jacket and a new look, and he's like kind of old man Rick / new school Rick.
Oh, that's sick.
Where he's got like the white beard, but it's nice and trim. He's a little thinner. His hair looks a little shorter and a little hotter. He's in this like weird jacket with all these atomic symbols on it. He's barefoot walking through the mud. He's got a new signature weapon. So instead of having his classical machete or his revolver, he now has this weird like pitchfork, like almost like a giant tuning fork for like a piano.
That is beyond stupid.
And he's stabbing walkers with that.
That is
And then
stupid.
there's a man on a PA system from a helicopter lowering towards Rick, and it says, "You've been located and you are being instructed to surrender. Remain in place. Put your hands up." And it cuts to Michonne, who's in this like metal beekeeper suit, like she's running through like this giant thing.
Oh my god.
And then it cuts back to Rick, and you hear the guy on the radio be like, "Come on, Rick, don't do this again." And then Rick grunts and he kills a zombie.
This is so incoherent.
I know.
This is how they end the fucking finale.
Yes, I'm not done yet.
All 11 years built up to this incoherent babble
Yes.
about a bullshit spin-off that they're canceling after one
And
fucking
then we hear
season.
Michonne say, and then we hear Rick say, it's like he's staring and he smiles at this guy saying, come on, Rick, stop. Get out of the pool, Richardson. You don't do anything.
And he
oh,
goes,
don't
"Oh,
I? And he starts humping everything.
No, he goes, Rick isn't a name I've heard in years. I now
Exactly.
go by Ben Grimes.
And then he's like, we gotta do a survival. And then Michonne's like, remember what I said? It's what he said. And then there's an extreme close-up of Rick squinting. And you hear, hold it to your heart. It's true forever. And then we get an extreme, I don't even know who said it. And you get an extreme close-up of Michonne. And then Maggie does a voiceover now.
oh, now we're going to learn about Dead City.
Fades to black, goes to Maggie, and Maggie's voiceover, and she's like, we're the ones who live. And then Aaron and Gabriel say, we're the ones who live. And then it cuts to Morgan, and he says, we're the ones who live. And then Eugene says, we're the ones who live. And then Ezekiel
Morgan?
says, from the Fear the Walking Dead.
He hasn't been involved
Nope.
in this.
He says, we're the ones who live. And then Eugene says, we're the ones who live. And then Ezekiel says, we're the ones who live. And then Negan says, we're the ones who live. And then Carol says, we're the ones who live. And then Daryl says, we're the ones who live. Okay?
Yeah.
And then it starts showing a bunch of wide shots, and you keep hearing it repeated like they're just doing it faster and faster. And it starts showing all archive footage of like Andrea looking sexy at the barn when they're killing Sophia and everything. They're showing, and also the entire episode, they've been showing so much footage of archive footage whenever they can. It's absurd. And then it cuts to Morgan on Fear, and he's like, we're the ones who live again. Like, and then fucking, it's a compilation of the whole goddamn show. And we're the ones who live, we're the ones who live. And then Michonne's now riding off, and she says, we're the ones who live.
Oh my
And then the music picks
God.
up a little faster, and then it cuts back to Rick, and Rick smiles a little bit.
We're
He's
the
like,
ones who live. We're the ones who live. They in a cult now?
Yeah, and then a helicopter lowers, and he puts his hands up, and he starts to kneel as the helicopter lands, and it has the symbol of the three things from the world beyond, but they're going to come take him. And he stares at it, and he does a cocky little smile, and then it fades to black, and then it fades out of black and comes back from white, and we have another scene, and now it's fucking Judith and RJ, and RJ's wearing the Rick hat and staring at the lavender fields, and he says, we get to start, she says, we get to start over. We're the ones who lived. And then it cuts to black. And then it says special appearance by Andrew Lincoln. Special appearance by whatever Michonne's name is. And there's no post-credit scene, and that's The Walking Dead. And the only people who die in the entire finale were Luke and Rosita and no one else.
I'm glad we had that toast for Luke and not Rosita.
It's shame, and also it's just shameless. It's just there's nothing about it. It just ends. That's for how like everyone's going off their own little ways. There's no resolution to any storyline. Nothing that was built up for the entire season. It just ended. It just ended. Just the end of season
It all
11.
led up to this. Nothing.
It's not a single conclusion, just suggestions for the future. And also, here's the biggest question, too. I have no fucking idea if Negan's wife is alive, Annie.
Okay.
That hot chick?
I meant to
Don't
ask you
know.
about that.
No idea where she went. She was in one scene, then Maggie said you two could stay, and then we never saw her again. So I still have no idea how the hell he ends up with Maggie in the city, okay?
So hold on, but did you tell me there's like a throwaway line where he's like, yeah, I knew a guy tried to set up a chapter of the
Yep.
Saviors up there.
Yeah. Something like
But
that.
there's that one throwaway line, that's that.
Yep.
Now they're going to New York.
And then it's also like, I don't know why suddenly, we end season 10 with Negan and Lucille, and then season 11's Negan and Annie. Now it's going to be Negan and Maggie and Dead Sea, which is just pretty much is essentially, The Walking Dead ended. Now it's The Walking Dead Universe, season 12, part 1, 2, and 3, for all these shitty spinoffs. So I don't know why we're having 3 arcs, essentially, where it's Negan and his Lucille, Negan and Annie, Negan and Maggie. He's just now the new romantic lead of the show.
That's pretty sick.
And the fucking comics end with Carl reading a story to his daughter.
Oh, really? Thanks
And
for
it
spoiling
flash
the end for
forwards
me.
20 years, and he's like, almost all the dead are dead now. And like, that's not the best ending, but at least it's an ending. It feels like it concludes the story.
Yeah.
This didn't do that. And then also,
Well, they just
Rosita
set the
only
spin-offs.
fucking died because she requested it. Apparently, when they were filming, she asked Angela Kane, and Angela Kane was like, yeah, fuck it, sure. And she came up with that awesome idea about how about you hold your baby up, and then Coco, and then Eugene climbs, and your fat ass goes up first, all and then you want to die, and you know, she clearly wanted to
That was
die to
Rosita's
get
idea.
away from the fucking show because of the terrible spin-offs, and she needed to get out of there before they're like, come back for another one. So she volunteers, and it's like, the show, the only death that happened in the show is a character who hasn't been in it for 2 years with someone who volunteered to die. That was the brain trust of that was the think tank you guys came up with.
Yeah, well, that's something.
And then Daryl's like, when Daryl first said, we're not the Walking Dead,
Yeah.
Pamela gave him the nod like she knew that was a callback.
That's awesome.
The woman who wasn't in that season 5 episode. And then Jules with Luke's girlfriend, the one we just met, he's crying hysterically. Everyone's like, we lost her too. And no one cares. It's just the show sucks. The real question is, honestly, what's Heath up to? That's the only person we didn't touch. No archive footage of Heath. Everyone's wondering, where'd that guy go?
Dude, the guy was talking about theories. Like, I think he's going to come back. So I saw some like logo thing we're in of his or some shit. Remember that? You saw a signature? That's cool.
It's just so many parallels. Like I said, Rick gets shot, Judith gets shot. Rick sees Shane, Judith sees Daryl's the hazy eyes. They have everyone's full. They have the fucking. They had one of the, they showed a ton of footage from the pilot. They showed Rick so many times.
Dude,
I found them. No one fucking died. Also, Maggie and Negan do not work. Both hot, sure. Don't work. No chemistry. When they had his actual real life wife on in the flashback, great chemistry.
Yeah, really.
Negan and Maggie, no chemistry.
Well, they are fucking Thomas and Martha Wayne, so
They are Thomas and Martha.
now they
Wayne
need a
somehow.
TV show together.
Fucking, and they have a spinoff. Again, they have a spinoff series together. And also, the hilarious part of spinoff shows is, do you want to know why fucking Carol's no longer in the Daryl spinoff?
Oh, is there an actual answer for
Yeah.
this? Why?
It's quote. Ready for this?
I don't like her.
The reason why Carol isn't in the spinoff is because relocating to Europe to shoot the series proved to be, quote, logistically untenable for her, says head of AMC.
Huh.
That's the reason. So instead of, just to clarify, they were so attached to the idea of France over the idea of the established 11-year connection of two characters. So they said, oof, well, Carol, Melissa, we'd love to have you in here, but if you don't want to go to France, we're sorry. We'd much rather have Daryl in France than continue the whole Carol-Daryl thing.
That's awesome. That's really good fucking... That's a good way to keep your established... You're basically your network's only Walking Dead shows, but then your idea is to say, fuck it, we have 11 years of these two being best pals, but we're...
And they also ended by saying, you're my best friend.
Because, you know, remember in season 4 when everyone was talking about their backstories and Daryl, and everyone was like, well, Daryl, what does Dix mean? He goes, it's 18th century French Huguenot.
Yeah, and they're
So-
like, what the hell?
So that's why he's coming back to France.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
But they never say anything about that for Carol, so she can't possibly go to France. They established this way back then. So I don't know why we're giving them shit.
You're right. It's our fault for not paying attention.
You remembered all those other deals. You remember that part?
You're right. And then the last couple of little parts. It's 24 episodes. It's fucking absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, way
Try
too
to
long
do 12
for
good
Walking
ones.
Dead.
Do 6 good ones. Do six. And go back to the original season. Since you like the whole callback to the first season, just do 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Instead of 24 and stretching your budget. So also AMC did not extend the budget. They said you're getting a budget for 16. Make it happen. Okay. Everything looks like shit. Also, as far as just
I have
logistics,
a question with the French thing. Isn't it more expensive to go over to Paris
No.
to film?
and they're filming in France. Yeah.
Is that more expensive than just
No.
saying, you know what, let's focus on the Carol and Daryl
Nope.
shit? Because it makes no goddamn sense for Daryl to be in fucking France.
None at all. And the two other dumb things, this is just about the show as a whole, is so just to clarify for the recap, Rick quits the show, and they say, okay, Michonne, you're the spinoff. Then Michonne, you're the lead. And then Michonne quits, and they say, okay, fine, Maggie, you're the new lead. And then she quits.
But can I come back, maybe?
And she quits, and they're like, okay, fine, Daryl, now you're the lead. And then that just leads us to the Daryl spinoff.
Yeah.
That's asinine. To spin off from the new main characters, his own new spinoff show called Daryl Dixon.
The Walking Dead.
And also, they should have done
Daryl
the time
Dixon.
jump before Rick disappeared, because it makes it even dumber when you realize that Rick's been missing for 9 years.
Yeah, it's kind of
8
stupid.
years. It's like, how about you do the time jump since he's been gone for 2 years? That makes more sense than opposed to being gone for 8 years. You know, have him be part of have him meet the Whisperers. Have him be there for the first 2 episodes, and then he goes missing.
That would have been a little cooler.
Instead of making it more disconnected. And then the last 2 points is when I said that Rick was in this fucking city, this swampy, disgusting mess, and there's the zombie in the helicopter lowering and everything else.
barefoot.
And he's barefoot walking in the mud, and he's got this dumbass jacket on. I'm almost fucking certain he was in Philadelphia. And it was like,
It is pretty gross over there. It might
It
have
is?
been Philly.
he's fucking. I can see the Ben Franklin Bridge. He's in fucking Fishtown. Like he's trying to pick up Temple girls. And it's like, why is The Walking Dead all of a sudden now in Philadelphia? Is that what we're taking off? So we have The Walking Dead New York, The Walking Dead France, and The Walking Dead Philadelphia.
Well, they're like, we already did Atlanta, Georgia. We gotta get these other major
Because,
cities.
yeah, we did Georgia, Virginia, Mexico, Los Angeles. So let's go to fucking the city of brotherly love. For the 6-episode limited event that we were so confident in, we
Whoa.
called it a series. Now it's only a 1-season event.
Only 6 episodes? Dude, why even release it then?
because they're I don't know. Honestly, all I can think of the entire time was just imagine.
So they have such little faith in this thing. They canceled the series to just be 6 episodes, but then they're like, guys, the last 15 minutes you got a fucking airtime. Just make it about that show.
Think about that show.
We're canceling anyways.
We'll go to Philly. We'll have Rick be in Fishtown, and we'll have a helicopter land, and I'll have a little cocky smile, and we'll get 6 episodes off of it. So we'll waste the last 5 minutes of our show for the character who left 2 years ago to have him have 6 episodes of his own TV show.
When she was thinking of the 3
Instead of those
movies.
3 movies we promised in 2017 that never happened.
Yikes.
It just begs the question, what if Frank Darabont stayed on, or just for fuck's sake, Glenn Mazzara at the very least? And instead of this no good, talentless, cocksucking, limp dick, brain dead shitheel Scott Gimple,